All right. When they got to the sheriff's office, there were 10 or 12 men waiting. Mark knew all of them, as he'd been training most of them on Mondays for the last few weeks. Kurt brought out a big map of the county and briefed everyone about his fears and where he felt the greatest threats could come from. He informed everyone of the pipeline Mark had shown him and told him that there were also several electrical easements that might bear watching. He asked for recommendations and received several. The discussions were spirited and even bordered on heated a few times, but everyone realized they were in this together, and no one got hostile. In the end, they all agreed to a plan tendered by Rob Bowers. They'd post a small group at each point of egress from Bexar County to watch for groups who looked like trouble. Each observation group would have a radio and could call for one or both groups of responders who would be assembled. These responder groups would be a combination of citizens, militia, and law enforcement. They'd use school buses for transportation, and each would be at least 30 men strong. They identified 11 points along the county line that needed to be watched. Kurt mentioned that Silver Hills had already placed an observation group on the pipeline, and he asked for Gunny's advice. I noticed you had 6 men in the group I saw this morning. Is that how many you think we needed each place? No, the old veteran drawled. If we're going to have a static OP at each point, you could get by with 3-man teams. We have 5 or 6 because they're designed to move around. With 3 men, one is on duty, one can sleep, and one is on support, like cooking and such. Each man spends 8 hours on each assignment. Everyone liked Gunny's suggestion. Kurt asked if Silver Hills could provide and train the observation group since they already had a head start on it. Rob and Kurt could then assemble and train the responders. Everybody agreed, and they resolved to meet on Thursday to evaluate their progress. On the way home, Gunny asked Kurt what he thought the biggest group they might face would be. Kurt answered that he expected most would be 15 or 20 people, but that it could go as high as 50. Gunny knit his brows at the answer. Why do you ask, Gunny? Kurt inquired when he saw the Marine's concern. If this was a military operation, then 30 guys could take out 50 easy with the right ambush. But since this is a law enforcement scenario, you have to give up the element of surprise and wait to see what the other fellas do. I don't think 30's enough for that situation. I was thinking we'd use both groups of responders if we had that big of a gang, Kurt said. I guess that'd work, Gunny responded. Some of us should go scout each site and find where we want to put the observers and where we'd intercept a gang on that route, he added. Good idea, Kurt answered. What if I bring Rob over early next week and we go look him over? That sounds like a plan. Mark could see that something was still bothering the old man. There was no sense in asking him, though. If he wanted to say something, he would.